Well, hello there, everyone. I hope we are all well. A new face for you today. My name's Ryan, and I'm going to basically be leading this module all about writing copy on Facebook. Okay, it is a really, really important element of the creative process. Not only the creative itself, but obviously this is centering all around the text that is going around this. So this module is going to be split into a few areas, that being the hook, which is an element of your primary text, the primary text itself, your headlines, your descriptions, and also we're going to be talking as well about our call to actions. So this is kind of the area in the ad account that we're focusing on, all of this information here from an input perspective. And I'm going to actually start today by talking about the hook. So this video is all about the hook of your copy. Now, thanks to a recent update on Facebook, we actually have some clarification as to what the hook actually is. It's around the first 2.5 lines, or to be more specific, the first 50 characters of your text. So from this, you need to make sure that the most important words are at the start of your hook. If there's a discount code, get it in there as an example. So how does this kind of look when it comes to the businesses that you're working with or the areas of the funnel that you're targeting, as Jack has obviously spoken to you about in modules previously? Well, for our top of funnel audience, we need to make sure the hook is doing this. We need to be clearly calling out our audience. We need to be talking about our unique selling points, or the ways in which we are unique as a business, and essentially the ways in which we help people or our products can make people's lives better, all those kind of things. So all very easily said and done, but what does this actually look like? Okay, and what is the whole point of it all? Well, I've got a few examples here from across a few mediums for you. So we have some e-com, we have some service-based businesses, and we have some lead generation here for you as well. I'm going to start off by talking about e-com, and this copy is actually based on a client that we've worked with in the past. They are a high-end swimwear, okay? It's really important to note the kind of content that's gone into this hook. So let's have a look at the first one. It's hot girl summer. Slip into styles that are too beautiful not to pack for the ultimate holiday vibes. Now, there's a few things that you can really see through the language and the vernacular that has been used in this copy, in this hook. Okay. First of all, it is very, very clear the kind of audience we are appealing to. It's clearly young women, okay, looking to basically have swimwear that makes them feel good, get that summer feeling, all those kind of things. So obviously our brands are all going to be different. We're not all doing women's swimwear, right? But it is a great example of how you can get brand voice through. And that's something that's really, really important and kind of a point to make across all of your copy. You need to emulate this kind of voice, and that's going to really, really help as well with the way that you are perceived as a brand, and also, as I say, the transfer of that from both your copy, creative, into your website, all those kind of things. Very, very important to bear in mind. So here is the hook of this. As I say, it's hot girl summer, slip into styles that are too beautiful not to pack for the ultimate holiday vibes. So what are some of the key things that we've ticked off here? So as I say, we've called out our audience, ladies looking to basically style it up for summer. Okay, slip into styles that are too beautiful not to pack for the ultimate holiday vibes. Essentially, we are saying you can't miss out on these products. Our swimwear line is so good, you'd be crazy to miss out. Okay, so we're doing a few things here. We've called out our audience. We're talking about why our product is better than others. We are the ultimate swimwear brand for those holiday vibes. Why should people pick us? Because we have a range of beautiful styles that you can't help but pack. Let's have a look at some others. Slay all summer long with dreamy swimwear and gorgeous resort looks. It's time to channel your inner it girl. Also important to remember as well that because we are advertising on Instagram and on Facebook, depending on our audience, the way that we need to engage with them is obviously different. Of course, you wouldn't be using this kind of language, these emojis, if you were targeting an older audience, for example. It's just not appropriate. But this kind of really easygoing, relaxed, very playful style is really, really, it relates to the kind of content that's working really well, okay? Because remember, for a lot of people, a lot of users on these platforms, they are typically, between the ages of kind of 18 and obviously on Instagram, it's kind of like 18 to 40, whereas obviously when you go to Facebook, obviously some of those older age groups to bear in mind as well. No offense. Okay, so a really good example there of a couple of hooks for ecom. Let's have a little bit of a look, though, at how this changes when we go to middle and bottom of funnel. So when we're looking at those retargeting audiences, how does our language change and how does the hook have to reflect that? Well, remember in retargeting, you are targeting a warmer audience, okay? They are a more primed audience. They may have seen your content already or engaged with your brand in some way, shape or form. So now the way that we're speaking to them is inherently different, okay? So here we go. Hey Queens, here's 10% off your first order with code WELCOME10. Be the it girl all summer long. So we don't need to be calling out our audience as much here. They kind of know who they are. They have some familiarity with your brand. But what they do need to be doing here is enticing the audience, making them stop, and basically engaging with the product like they haven't before. So here we're getting that offer in straight away. It's the most important element of the hook, okay? It's got to drag people in. It's got to go, oh, look, I can get 10% off. Brilliant. Let's go look at this creative, okay? So just kind of a heads up there. Another one, and this is another offer example for you. Enjoy 10% off your first order with code WELCOME10. Stay glowing all summer in styles worn by your favourite celebs. Again, there's another hook point. The fact that they're worn by celebrities. People like that association, okay? Again, just another few examples. So what are some other things that our hooks should be doing then? Well, they need to be providing us with either a thought-provoking question relating to a pain point or desire, and that works really well in middle and bottom of funnel. You can have then dialogue relating to that pain point or desire to continue that on in the rest of the hook. You could think about maybe beginning with a transformational story. You know, Chris came to us feeling down, de-energized, and wondering there must be more he can do with his life. Okay, bit dramatic, but there you go. We can also look at shocking statistics. It's another thing that's working really well on platform at the moment. Or a bold proclamation, okay? And I suppose the ultimate holiday vibes would kind of fall into that category. You can even begin to talk about a case study highlight, okay? Did you know, for example, did you know that 20% of Americans don't have swimwear for when they go on holiday, okay? Social proof, big important part here. Social proof, obviously the kind of reviews, testimonials, this again is especially good for your middle and bottom of the funnel. If you can get that in your hook, again, it's dragging people in. If, for example, you had, star, this is the best product I've ever used, okay? That's a really, obviously related to whatever it is that your product is, but what a way of dragging people in, reinforced in quotations by people's actual reviews. And again, review mining and all that kind of thing is going to really help to formulate some of this copy for you. Okay. You can also have obviously the direct offer like this is here with the 10%, and you can call out your audience, of course, which is very important. So begin to hit on some of these angles. So your creative angles that you've come up with, however you're trying to emulate that, make sure that that is cohesive in your hooks as well. Address and overcome any potential pain points as well. So we're either, as I say, to kind of recap, we're either calling out our audience and talking about our product, the kind of key selling points, why it's better, why people need it, how it's going to better their lives, or just in general, why they should have it. For middle and bottom of funnel then, you can go down a more what's called PASS approach, or pain point agitate solution, where essentially you're going, ever wondered, attention X, ever wondered there must be a better way to do X. Well, we're here to help, okay? There is your pain point, you've agitated, and then you're providing the solution for those people, okay? A couple more examples of how that looks for other businesses, just to give you a kind of more well-rounded idea. Let's say we're looking at lead generation. Now, this is based off a client who works in the legal profession. So, being in a recent accident and wondering, what now? If this sounds like you, let's turn that into what's next with our expert lawyers. So again, you're playing on some of those, you're calling out your audience, people who may have been in an accident. You're kind of playing on those pain points. Oh, what now? What do you do? Is this sounds like you, you're talking directly to your audience. Let's turn that into what's next. So what can we basically help you with our expert lawyers? Okay. And we're going to look in the next module, in the next lesson, about basically how this leads in to our body copy. So another example, you don't need to be afraid of medical bills after an accident. If you've been in a recent accident in Georgia, we're here to help you claim the compensation you deserve, okay? There's another example there, okay? Again, for those clients, obviously it's location based as well, so that's obviously going to be really important to get that in there as well. If you're targeting a particular area, get that in there. If you're targeting in general, you know, are we talking about, hey, they're Americans, or hey, they're, you know, living in LA, and, you know, or whatever. Again, something to bear in mind, okay? So join me for the next lesson where we are going to be talking all about body copy.